Welcome back. Today we'll be covering Kihon Gumite number 3. Two elements to this. One is obviously the defense and the other one is the attack. With the attack, you have to get that spot on because you need to go from your fighting distance into your punching distance for the first attack. And then the complication arises when you have to not only change direction for the geri, but you have to alter the distance as well. So if you don't understand distances, fighting distance, punching distance, kicking distance, then this will really sort you out. So enjoy. Excuse my back. So, first attack, as you see, it's straight, but I move to the side. And I try and catch the zuki, and cover, and turn my body. And once more, I collect it, move. Now, Keri has got to change direction and distance to do the kick. So if Keri does that by himself, 1, 2. So you can see there the zuki was straight forward, and then he had to pull back with his hip, change his guard and kick. So it's not just a pure punch, pull back kick. He has to change direction and distance. When the punch comes, you collect and you move. When you feel the arm coming back, when you see the body start to move, then you come down and hit. This one, I know a lot of you use this also as a punch or a zuki, but just as long as it's covering your body, that's fine. This should be enough. But this just on the inside of the thigh, covering. And then out. This zuki, you should be able to punch from wherever the fist is, whether it's here or whether it's when you take your junzuki for the first time. Junzuki should not be pull back and punch. That's 2 directions. Your first junzuki should be straight from here. So you should be able to punch from wherever your fist starts. So if it's here, starts here. If it's here, at the start of junzuki, next junzuki, it's wherever the fist starts. So to practice this one, try and use a kit bag, a punch bag, so that you can get the feel of this drop-in action, this name, this hit, this thud. So if you can practice this, start from here and slowly just pick up and body as well. So you can take the force with the pad rather than hitting the opponent. So the other thing not to do, hopefully not to do, is to tense up and try and hit them. You should be nice and relaxed and using your body weight and dropping the weight. The more relaxed you are, the heavier you are. If you're stiff and rigid, no matter how much I hit sensi-keri, it's not having much effect. By relaxing, dropping the weight, putting a slight hip into it, you can get a better result in force. You need to feel as well as see. Feel and see. Not, obviously not. And, oh, too late. So try and use your senses. And feel it going in. Feel it going in. Use their arm. Use their arm as a telltale. The other thing to check on when you're doing this technique is not only use the feel of the arm, but when you're learning it, you can also view their foot and follow their foot. So the punch comes and I follow it. Punch comes and I follow it. And I want to be pulling my body out the way, my hip, so that yeah, if we do it from the other side. This is exaggerated, but you can see I'm trying to get my body out the way of the kick just in case it goes through. So if we get to follow, and this one cover, but if you do strike, try and use the knuckle, not just the fist, use the knuckle, because then you're going to the femoral artery through here. But this is the main one. Don't get over concerned with this one, but use it as a cover. One. And don't stop there. Make sure you explode. You're imploding, then explode. So, to the side, in, out. Because I'm in quite a prone position here. Not this. Okay, punch is gonna, but head down. So if they do punch, okay, it's gonna hit your skull. So I'm sure you can look up with your eyeballs, not having to do this.
So as Sensei mentioned, the attack is vital to make this a correct technique and a correct waza. The first technique is straightforwards, but they've gone off at an angle. So there's no point in kicking forwards, they're over there. So we have to not only change the angle, but adjust the foot as necessary to make the correct distance for the kick. If they're still quite close, you may need to bring your foot further back to get in. If they've gone a little bit of a distance, you might need to go a little bit longer to get your kick in. So to make this work for the defender, the attacker needs to make sure his distance and timing is correct. And if you don't get that right, the defender can never work on their techniques. We discussed in one of the previous videos this concept of proprioception, the sensing through the skin. So Sensei mentioned, try and feel the pull back transmitted through the arm. Now, from Uke's point of view, you can try and disguise your movement, leave the arm, but turn the body. And try and minimise the amount of signal you're sending. But this is more advanced. If you're in the process of learning this, just make sure your distance and timing are correct, so the defender has a maximum chance of learning the techniques. Another point with the attack is, after you've made the punch, you should really be considering this backhand. If you're going to turn to produce a kick, your guard needs to change as well. Now, this changing of the guard can actually trap the defender's hand as it comes to counter-attack. So the only way around that is, if this guard is coming up and potentially trapping this technique, is for the defender has to move as quickly as possible. So as soon as they sense any movement, they have to go. You can't hang around, because this other hand will come up and defend and block your counter-strike. So that's just a way. It's not a way of making life difficult for the defender, but it's certainly a way of helping them to move faster.
So to reiterate on Kihon number 3, the attacker really needs to work at his distances and his direction, as well as the defender. Try and feel and read and follow his foot when you drop in. This is the main attack. This one is to cover. If you can get used to practicing to the side and in, but try and get your back out of the way just in case the kick comes through. You can turn your hip, don't have to turn your top of your body. You can do them in separate directions, and make sure you're out quick. And to ensure that your technique is relaxed and powerful, make sure you use a kick bag, punch bag, to get this relaxed feeling. Dropping and punching, instead of using your partner